Give me a bite. Give me a bite. Give me a piece of that. 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 Bite off a piece of that. Bite-sized Thursday.
Welcome, one and all, ladies and gentlemen. It is Bite-sized Thursday again. And don't forget, in case you're new or in case you haven't been paying attention, this month's themed Jared-atric month. Because apparently the only things Jared likes are made
for old people. Yes.
And he's subjecting us to all of those now. So, today's episode, what are we up in the 60s now?
That was last week. We're in the 70s.
Yes. Okay. And for the 70s, what show do you have picked out?
So, the last 2 weeks, of course, were the 50s and 60s, the evolution of the sitcom. And now we've hit a point where we are focusing on a sitcom that did more serious things, MASH, one of my favorite shows of all time. I picked a more serious episode, so don't look for gut laughs in this one.
Okay.
It's at the...
No gut laughs.
You get the joke?
Yeah, I do.
So... late 70s, this is 1979 when this came out, because the show started in like 73, 74. But I picked this episode because MASH did things where they would toy with TV as a medium.
Interesting.
They have an episode where it's from a patient's POV the entire time. It's, what if you are a patient coming in on the chopper? What does it look like to go through each step to, what is it? Is it triage? It's like triage, then operating room, then post-op, or so like all the stations, and you're seeing the characters, and they're still jokes, but it's like there's no angle from any other spot. It's always in. It's like they had a handheld the whole time.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, stuff like that. They had an episode called Dreams, where each character during the super long session of whenever they're falling asleep, they're having these really weird, trippy, haunting dreams. Which one of them, like the character Winchester, played by David Ogden Stiers, he has this dream where he's like tap dancing in the operating room for people and they're laughing, and then he starts tap dancing for a patient and the patient's like dying and he can't do anything about it.
Interesting.
Like, it's creepy. I love it.
That sounds so weird. So
yeah. So
what happens in this one that you
so this one is called Lifetime. It's the 11th episode of season 8. And this one, they have a set amount of time to save someone who's coming on the chopper. And if I remember right, there is a clock in the bottom corner and it plays out in real time.
Interesting.
And it's like, we have got to get them there and solve this without hurting them more, them dying. And like, it's all kind of more edge of your seat type thing. And there are other episodes that are serious in other ways, but this one struck me when I watched it the first time. Like, that's such a cool idea, especially for... a 70s sitcom like that. So that's why I picked it, and I even brought my DVD of the season.
That's nice. So the way you described it kind of sounds like an episode of 24. As it plays out in real time.
Yes, except we don't drive across LA in 5 minutes.
You don't have Kiefer Sutherland in it, obviously, either.
What a shame.
I mean, what a shame.
Well, how old was he in 1979?
Was he even born?
Like,
was he even born?
Like 18?
He probably he could have been in this. Who knows?
I know. I'm just saying, it's not the Kiefer Sutherland we know. Young Guns hadn't even come out yet.
That's true. I am excited because I've heard really good things about the show. I know a lot of people love it, obviously. It's heralded as one of the best shows. Yeah,
it's got the most watched non-sporting event ever.
Yeah.
For its finale, which is fantastic.
Impressive.
And for 11 seasons, it doesn't ever...
Wow, you start
for 11 seasons? You start to feel the fatigue around 9, but it's never bad. And by 11, when they're wrapping things up, it's like, okay, yeah, they know what they're doing. They realized, okay, I think it was season 9 or 10, they thought, okay, we're getting close.
Kind of feel.
And they had it's one of the few shows where they have major cast changes, and it doesn't affect it in a bad way. It's every character that gets replaced by a very good character, and I actually prefer later seasons characters.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I grew up on. So
the opposite of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh yeah, everyone dies in Grey's Anatomy or something.
Oh, there's one character that does one character that doesn't die.
Oh, who?
Was that McDreamy or?
No. No, he dies several times.
He does it. Okay. I don't know. I've never watched the show before. I couldn't tell you.
The main one.
Meredith.
Yeah.
How did I know that?
The
How
one
did
with
you know that?
the one with resting jerk face.
Wow. Jared was a secret fan of this entire time. He never let us know.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you here. It's a good show. It is.
You heard it here, folks. Grey's Anatomy is a good show.
Oh, okay.
Jake Moerdyke,
Hey.
2022.
That's going down.
Dude,
in history books.
you don't get to be on air for 17 seasons without being a good show.
That's a very good point.
What about The Simpsons?
That's a very.
I mean,
I'm not talking the first 17 years. I'm talking the subsequent 17 years.
I mean, at one point, you just built up enough of a following.
Isn't American Dad in like its 16th season?
That show has no right. No
You
right.
don't like the funny alien named Roger?
His name is Roger.
I never even knew that.
We're getting
Anyway, I'm excited to watch this episode. You guys have anything else before we jump right into it?
No, let's go.
All right. Without any further ado.
Take a bite.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just watched the episode of MASH.
Lifetime.
Lifetime. That was good.
Yeah, it's,
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
you were about to say something, Jake.
It reminds me of Scrubs.
I was getting the same exact vibe.
I don't have that context.
Yeah.
Between him and Charles, I was getting like that, just like the riffing between the two characters felt very of just like the comedic undertones, but still taking itself very seriously, like Scrubs did.
What is it between Zach Braff and John C. McGinley? Are those the two that do that?
Well, it's
Kinda.
everybody.
It's really
everybody,
everyone,
but
they have
the
a
show
particular-
flips serious on a dime.
Which that's what I think it did. Like you mentioned, that's what I think it did the best doing. It took itself lighthearted when it could, and then when it had to get down to business.
They didn't make fun of because the humor is not used as just to make us laugh only. It's they use humor in the show, probably similar to Scrubs. They use the humor to get through this.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least Scrubs, it's like they're in their home country, at home, at a hospital, where there are different things to consider. But here they're in the middle of a war zone.
I'm guessing the 70s, so they're probably in Vietnam.
No, that's Korea.
Oh, Korea.
No,
right.
because it takes place in the 50s in Korea. But they made a lot of it. They used it to make comments about Vietnam without specifically saying Vietnam. A lot of stuff.
Makes a lot of sense.
A lot of anti-war sentiment in the air at the time. So then they use this because it is an anti-war show.
Yeah, that's I could obviously tell that they were taking it that part very seriously.
Yeah, and it can be really funny and then really serious, but it never feels too much like the other two. Like it's pretty well balanced tonally too.
It was like I'm not gonna lie. When it ended, I'm like, oh dang! Like I felt like I could just keep watching that for longer. Like I really
for a lifetime.
For a lifetime. Like this is coming from me, who literally has. I've never seen a single episode. I've never seen the movie. I've heard of it, obviously. I know what it's about, but I've never seen anything. And now watching this, I'm like, dang, I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the first couple seasons are much funnier. Not to say the later ones, because it's the first 3 out of 11. The first 3 push more of like the wacky, zany antics with serious stuff popping in and out, which that was always a thing in the show.
Mm-hmm.
There is a turning point at the end of season 3 that's a very serious thing. That's like one of the biggest moments, probably the second. Now it's the biggest moment of the show.
Wow.
And after that, it changed. And it's less about goofy antics and more about the horrors of war and like the seriousness of it, while still being pretty funny. And you have your dud episode. You have your... Not I wouldn't say filler episodes, but just kind of like less than stellar episodes. But then you have some like this that are just they toy with the format. What did you guys think of the clock in the corner?
I dug that.
I mean, I'm sure this is where it originated. I also dug it, but I've seen that in other medical shows. Scrubs does it in a different way, and it's played for laughs. Actually, Scrubs does it a number of times. Sometimes it's played for laughs, and sometimes it's played for
serious
stuff.
like this. The only thing I would say about that is with those shows, it's more of a countdown clock.
That
And I think for me, like by the time we were through the episode, I completely forgot when the clock started.
I was gonna say a very similar thing to what you were saying, where I like having that clock in the corner. I think it adds an element of suspense.
You can hear it ticking the whole
And
time.
the ticking, yes, the ticking I thought was really smart way to just keep it moving.
I did not hear the ticking. Probably my old man ears.
But I do, and this is gonna come from me. Okay, I know y'all are gonna make fun of me. I know how to read a clock. Okay, I know how to read a clock.
Oh boy.
But like Jake was saying, it was hard to keep track. I'm like, wait, where do we start from? What time is it? What time is it now? I was confused for a second.
Yeah, we started I thought it was like 33, 34 because I made sure I looked at the clock when it popped up.
And he said it in military time too.
Yeah.
But you had to pay attention to the hour because it's 20 minutes.
It's the minutes.
But then they started it in military time, and by the end, she was giving it to it in like
normal time,
normal civilian time. Not that that's confusing. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, but and I know how to read a clock, but I do wish they had like a simple...
Are you sure?
Yes,
okay.
I am.
Okay.
I wish they had like a little something, just like a digital just countdown. I think it would have been a little bit easier.
How many minutes are in between the numbers?
Wait, what do you mean between the numbers? Like, do you mean like seconds in between a minute? Like 60 seconds in a minute? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Don't confuse them.
You said between numbers, and there's numbers. I don't know. Now I'm really confused.
There's 5.
Why are there 5? Wait.
Wouldn't there be? Was it 5?
No, it's 5.
It is 5. Huh.
It's 12. 5 minutes. 1.
I know it's 5 minutes. Point to point. I'm wondering if the in between.
That's 5 minutes. That's what
I.
I asked him. How many minutes are between the numbers?
You
Or would it be
that's
4?
that's such a confusion.
That's what I mean. Between, because you count the number with the 5. Wouldn't it be 4 minutes
I would
between?
count the 5. You're right. I think
it's not as easy as a question.
At least he was closer to it, idiot. Can't even read a clock.
But other than the clock, I did.
Yeah. Now, you went in with little to no context.
None.
Did you watch any of this growing up at all? Did your parents ever put this on?
I mean, what years is it running?
It was like 70. It's like 72 or 73 to like 83, 80, somewhere in there.
So it was over before I was born.
Probably
yes, I'm wondering if reruns. Your parents
I think
that's what I mean. Not live.
My
not
dad.
live.
My dad never watched reruns of it, but I have seen a number of places where it's been syndicated.
I think it's TV Land might still have
It's
it.
definitely
But
a TV Land
in
show.
my youth, I didn't appreciate it. Watching it now, I do, obviously, but
Yeah, my parents. It's funny. My mom really likes it. My dad was never a giant fan of it, and I'm not sure why. Just because when it started, he was like 12. I think he thought it was like a combat type show. Like I think he watched like Hogan's Heroes growing up, and then he's like, oh, this is all the medical stuff, which he's not interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that's why now he's like, he'll watch it, but he doesn't really care about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked through the show in 2018 or 19. I think it was 19 is when I finished. I worked through the whole thing finally. There's a whole story. I'm not going to mention it. It takes too long to tell about how the show was on Netflix and they got taken off while I was in the middle of watching it.
When was this on Netflix? I don't know.
2015.
So was it just like 1 year? Because I do not remember this
It
being
was
on
on
Netflix.
there. And then again, I want to tell the whole story, but
Sure.
I woke up one day and it was gone. I can still go back in my Netflix history and see it. But then it was when it got put on Hulu in like 2017 or 18. That's when I jumped back on. It took me a while. I like, oh, it's there. And then I just didn't pull the trigger till like 2018, 2019, watched the whole thing. And now you've seen some and did you understand the character dynamics?
That's what I was going to say. I thought it was impressive the fact that I could just jump into the middle of a season and get it. Like I could kind of see between Hawkeye and Charles. Like I said, I like that little Razzie, like the Razzie nature between them.
The banter.
Yes, that's a better word for it.
am I wrong to say, and I know I keep comparing it to other sitcoms, and I apologize for that
you're good.
because it would have originated them, in this case him. Am I wrong to say that his name was Charles?
The pompous guy?
Yeah.
David Ogden Stier? Yeah.
The British guy.
He's from New England, so close enough.
Yeah,
he's
really?
Yeah, I think so.
Close enough.
I think he is. Or is that Hawkeye? It's been a while. But yes, he has that pompous sounding accent.
Anyway, Charles reminds me the what I got from the relationship between him and Hawkeye's. Hawkeye's relationship. What I got from it is kind of a Wilson Tim Allen vibe.
I could kind of see the banter.
Charles is very condescending to people, and Hawkeye dishes it back out, and they pick on him because of that. But he's actually a not late edition, but he's not the original. He's not a first season character.
I did like the razzing on the corporal officer when he made fun of his voice, and he kind of.
I love Potter.
that was pretty fun. That's what I'm saying. I'm impressed that I could pick up on I'm assuming those are to be running jokes between the series.
Yeah. So their CEO is Potter. You know, it kind of sounds like this. I can't quite get Harry Morgan. I love Harry Morgan.
That was pretty good.
And he's because the first one is Henry Blake, and he's the first 3 seasons, and then Potter is the subsequent 8. And then you have a character named Frank Burns, who is a very funny character, but he's also very whiny, and he gets on your nerves, and he's supposed to. And after season 5, he's gone, and that's when Winchester replaces him.
Okay.
And Hawkeye's best friend is Trapper in the first 3 seasons, and due to some, I think it was a wage thing, because
they just couldn't afford him anymore.
What was his name? I can't think of the guy's name right now who played Trapper. It was supposed to be him and Alan Alda being like co-leads, but when they realized Hawkeye is the more popular character who's going to be the main character, he left the show, and that's when Mike Farrell playing BJ takes over. That's why, and in all 3 cases, I like the replacements better because like Henry is great, but there's just something about Harry Morgan that I like better. He's gruffer. He doesn't take it, but he's still a great character. And then Winchester is pompous, and it gets under your skin in a different way. So when he's wrong and they pick on him, it feels more warranted than Frank just being a little baby.
That's totally fair. That makes sense.
And then BJ is a lot. I don't know. Trapper feels like Hawkeye Part 2, whereas BJ is a little more of a straight man to Hawkeye. Like they play off each other beautifully, and he's a little better at the serious stuff than Trapper was. That's why the first 3 seasons it's goofier, and then as it goes,
once they get the better, or not the better actors, but just the different.
It's different. I like all of them.
Yeah,
but I grew most of the ones I watched growing up were the later cast episodes because again, most of them this cast was together for like 6 seasons.
Nice. So really quick, is there anywhere if anybody wants to watch this, is it streaming on anywhere? Or
I don't know. It might still be on Hulu.
It might still be on Hulu?
I own most of the show.
Okay.
So that's how I watched it.
Okay.
But I was watching on Hulu for a second.
So yeah, I guess if any of our viewers want to go out and watch this after this, then
yeah, fantastic show. Big 2-hour epic finale that I love. Some people, like in retrospect, who are like our age, who aren't watching this like the big thing it was then, call it like self-righteous and bloated, and it's like, no, I'm all for it. If you're gonna end, like that's the thing about shows. I want to end shows on a big epic finale, and because some people are like, oh, I want the last episode to be the exact same type where it's the same length, same thing. We just end it, and I'm like, no, I'll go for a 2-hour ending. If no other episodes are super long, I'll go for the 2-hour ending with the bigger scale and the scope.
Just gonna bring it back, kind of like what you were saying, like Stranger Things. They're going out with
that's different. That's called let's make every episode 2 hours and it not even be the last season is what I've heard.
Well, this season is 2 parts. So
you get there's also there's 2 movies too.
Yes, yeah.
This isn't ending with a bang. This is blowing up the earth.
Wait. There's Stranger Things movie coming out?
2.
No, the episodes
besides these, there's 2 movies that they've talked about.
No.
That's what I was told.
No, the episodes that are coming out are movie length. The episodes that are coming out are like 2 hours long. It's still an episode of TV, but it's
the last
2
episode's
long.
like 130 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's only part 1 of the season.
The shortest episode is like 65 minutes.
The really long ones are the last episode of this part that's out right now, and the next part that's coming out, the last 2 again are like feature length. They're stupid long.
But speaking of long, we're already over time. I just love the show so much.
Honestly, I enjoy this a lot. Jake, did you like this?
Yes. But for anyone watching, it is still on Hulu.
You checked. Thank you.
Thank you.
So go, if you like our reviews of it, you want to watch it for yourself, go watch it on Hulu. But Jared, where can the good people find us online?
You can follow us on the Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram. And
You can use Jake's...
if you read this Jersey Mike's thing, if you're watching on YouTube, there's another thing on there, and it's pretty funny. It's the TikTok.
That was well played. That was.
That was a good slow roll right there.
You can also listen to us on Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Evil Overlord, Apple Podcasts, and hey, you can watch us on YouTube, see how goofy we look, and leave a comment to tell us how goofy we look. Like and subscribe, hit the bell, because bells are funny. Ring our bells.
Ring our bells. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Yeah. All right. On that note, thank you everybody for listening to us on today's episode. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more decades-old stuff from Jared-atric month in the next coming weeks. So, from all of us at Off Slate Media,
take a bite.
Bite me off a piece of that. Bite-sized Thursday!